All right, and we back again. I told y'all I'll be you ain't gonna be seeing my face a whole lot. So if you don't like it, oh well. If you don't like it, there's two things you can do. You can unfollow, which you're not gonna do, or you can block me, which you're not gonna do. You can unfriend me. You can do all those things. All those things that I know that you're not going to do. Why? Because good content is good content, and people like good content. No matter what it sounds like. Well, no, the sound does make a difference, right? You don't want to just have anything just being said or how it sounds. Um, but that was just a little jokey joke. I mean, I'm happy to be back here again for another episode of the Banks of America show. I got a couple things that just been on my mind since over the weekend. Of course, we had an amazing fight with the Spence and Crawford fight. We got the results. We got a new champion. Uh, can't sit here in front like I'm just really happy about it because I'm not. I'm a little bit upset, but it is what it is. All right, my guy lost, your guy won. It is what it is. Okay, I have my reasons that I think the reason why my guy lost. Again, I'm not making any excuses or giving excuses. But hey, the better man won clearly. Okay. On top of that, we got a few other things to discuss. That's been on my mind. I know I've been posting religiously and talking religiously about two teams that I've named in this video, the Baltimore Ravens as well as the New York Jets 2023 outlook from my point of view. Again, this is just my opinion on what I think these two teams are gonna look like. I'm really high on both the Baltimore Ravens as well as the New York Jets. Okay. I think there's going to be really good. There's going to be two really good teams in the AFC. And they're going to be fighting pretty damn hard for a Super Bowl spot. Hell, a playoff spot. Okay, the AFC is very competitive, and a lot of teams have gotten better. All right, and I expect a very crowded field this year in the AFC. But before we get started, I do want to say thank you guys again for your support. Whether you liking the videos, comment on the videos, sharing the videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you again for your support. It means a whole lot to me to know that you guys are into the content and you're sharing it. Keep sharing it. You never know who sees this information. I put a lot of work into my craft and into these videos and research and things like that. So at least you can do is stop by and just say hi or do a like or share anything like that. I'm not gonna beg you. It's not gonna stop my grind. It's not gonna stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do or what I have to do. But it does go a long way with you saying, "Hey, here's a share," or "Hey, here's a like." So I'm pretty sure you guys are probably wondering how and why I post some of the things that I post to say what I say. A lot of people like to formulate it as to what's the word that they say, clickbait, right? And I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it is clickbait. Sometimes I'm just throwing stuff out there just to get some insight, some opinions, some debate, some healthy debate. Because I do feel like having a healthy debate is very important, right? It's important that we're able to discuss things because I do feel like communication is vital. Like if we're able to effectively communicate without getting into any type of physical argument or name calling and violence and things like that, I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy when people discuss, right? When we talk, when we get together and we share our thoughts and our opinions respectfully, right? I don't want to be anybody just be sharing their thoughts and their opinions respectfully. As I mentioned on episode one a few days ago, it's a difference of having the ability to free speech, but you also have to remember that you just can't say anything. Excuse me, you just can't say anything, right? Because you have to worry about how that other person that you're saying this out to or who's listening to this, they may receive it. They may receive it as, okay, well, I look at this as a threat, or this is just not good content. This is not whatever. This is not for me, right? So I pride myself in being an individual who is very conscious of what he says and how he goes about his business, right? I learned a long time ago how trouble is easy to get into and very hard to get out of. So I'm very cautious with what I do. Everything is pretty much premeditated. unless what I'm doing is hurting someone, which is it isn't premeditated at all. I'm not intentionally trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. But most of the things that I'm doing is premeditated. Like any of the posting I'm putting out there, for instance, if I post something about my Florida State Seminoles, which by the way are going to probably win a national championship this year, whatever. I don't care what anybody feels about it. But if I just posted something out there like Florida State, right, and I say something like, hey, the 2023 Florida State Seminoles are going to win the national championship this year. That's my opinion, right? But it's not like I'm giving you an opinion from a place that just I'm not just being a fan anymore these days. It's just to me, it's no longer about being a fan. It's about again being accurate with what I say. I'm not just saying things just to say it. I'm pretty wise on when I'm saying things. There's a reason why I say what I said about, for instance, Florida State as an example. Again, if I say Florida State is going to win the national championship, I'm pretty sure, and I feel very confident that Florida State may very well win a championship. And that's because I look at the measurements, I look at the team outlook, I look at the momentum. Like for instance, Florida State won the last 5 or 6 games, and they're rolling. The recruiting this year has been fantastic. We're winning the transfer portal, so there's a lot, right? There's a lot that goes into it, and the reason why I say what I say, and why I feel the way I feel about Florida State, for instance. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the very first team. The very first team being the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens were stuck in a little bit of a limbo a few months ago on whether or not they wanted to make Lamar Jackson MVP Lamar Jackson, I should say, which we're not going to just dismiss that because Lamar Jackson is in fact the NFL MVP. Whether you like it or not, whether you support it or not, he is an NFL MVP. Okay. When Lamar Jackson is healthy, the Baltimore Ravens are going to win games. Okay. I don't care how anybody wants to look at it. They want to deny the fact. They want to come up with all these different excuses. Facts are when Lamar Jackson plays the Baltimore Ravens, most times they're going to win that game. Okay. Because that speaks to his greatness, in my opinion, of how great he is as a player. Just having him on the field alone it just does something to you. So since Lamar Jackson has come into the league, he's been doubted a lot. He's been hated on a lot, in my opinion. There's a lot of people who give these unfair assessments about what kind of quarterback he is, or if he is a quarterback, what kind of player it is, if he is a player, what kind of guy he is outside of the. Because if there's even been, you know, conversation about his personal life, which I just don't understand how, you know, that makes a difference when it's not like Lamar Jackson came in with any issues or since he's been in the league, he's given anybody any issues. He's been very clean cut and he stayed out of trouble for the most part. I haven't heard about anything negative out of his camp or from him at all. Um, so when people make those comments about his personal life, I get a little bit upset by that because I feel like unless it's warranted, don't speak on it. Again, and that's the difference between good media and bad media. When you're trying to make a clickbait, and to me, that's the definition of clickbait. When you're just putting and spewing nonsense out there, you're just trying to make something up. That's clickbait. All right, that's hating. For the most part, Lamar Jackson has been a very, very positive figure for the NFL, for the community, for his community, I should say. Little kids love him. Whenever Lamar Jackson pulls up to a park or he hosts a camp, he has big turnout. Everyone just idolizes who he is. He's just a great kid. He speaks, and whenever he speaks on the microphone, yeah, it's not going to be the most impressive interview you're going to have or the most intellectual interview because that's just not him. But he does give you some very straightforward answers, and he's very positive when he does give you the response. Right? He's not just saying things, and I appreciate that. Okay. He's just being who he is, and you have to appreciate that for what it's worth. But even with all that good stuff, you still find Lamar still finds himself in a pretty messed up situation when people still are doubting who he is and doubting what he's about. Right? The Baltimore Ravens were on the fence about giving Lamar Jackson that big contract he just got. Just got a 5-year deal, much deserved, by the way. But they were on the fence about it, and there was a lot of back and forth, as you guys know. I'm not going to harp on it too much. There's no need of going back in the past and try to go this or well, they said this and they said that. At the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens at one point weren't very sure about Lamar Jackson, and they finally budged, and Lamar Jackson walked out of the situation like I said he was, with a brand new contract, and he's going to be the starting quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, like I said he was. And the reason why I said like I said he was because I don't know if you guys followed me from my prior podcast when I was affiliated with other individuals and things like that. But I've been on the record religiously about my fandom and my admiration for Lamar Jackson. Okay, it's warranted. Again, the guy can play football and he's an overall good guy. As long as you can play football and you're a good dude, me personally, I'm a fan of you. Even if you're on another team, I'm a fan of the game. I just love the game of football, and I like the players that are all about their business and they go about business. But again, there's still some haters out there who find every and any opportunity to hate on Lamar Jackson and what he's about. Say he's not a great quarterback. All he does is just run the ball. He can't throw. He things like that. All this nonsense. Okay. And I tell people over and over and over, all this that you're doing, again, is uncalled for, is unwarranted. Lamar Jackson is, in fact, an NFL quarterback. Okay. That's facts. Whether you want to accept it or not, he is an NFL quarterback. So he is the epitome, in my opinion, of what an NFL quarterback is in today's society. All right. A lot of the quarterbacks in the NFL, most of them, I want to say probably maybe what's a good percentage to throw out there? I want to probably say like 80, 90% of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL have some type of dual threat capability within them. I mean, if you go down a list of all the best quarterbacks in the NFL, they're going to be some dual threat guys who can not only beat you with their arm, but they can beat you with their leg and they get outside of the pocket and they make some amazing throws. That's not like Lamar Jackson. Okay. For years, Lamar Jackson has been pretty much carrying the team, the Baltimore Ravens offense and organization on his back. All right. The Baltimore Ravens defense has been up and down. They were pretty impressive last year. It seemed like they're starting to develop an identity. They know the style of defense they want to play. So that kind of helps the team efforts when you can come out there and you can kind of counter your defense to get some stops. But let's not be mistaken. The Baltimore Ravens go as Lamar Jackson goes. Okay. It's proof. All right. People may not like it, but it is what it is. It's the reality. When Lamar Jackson is healthy, okay, and he's able to play, again, the Baltimore Ravens are a very difficult team to beat. They're going to be very difficult. Lamar Jackson is going to be very difficult to stop. Okay. Does Lamar Jackson have a lot of room for improvement? Yes. Okay. As a fan, I have never shied away from that. I have always been open and vocal about Lamar Jackson in the areas of opportunity for him. He can get a little better with his decision making. Okay, I'm aware of that. Uh, what else I think he can get? Well, stop turning the ball over, for instance. Um, just be an overall better leader too. And the leader thing is kind of up in the air because when you see him out there, he looks like he looks like he's taking lead of his team. Like players like Lamar, like his teammates like him. And I don't see Lamar Jackson getting into any beefs and scuffles on the sideline with any of his offensive linemen or his running back or his offensive coordinator. And we're gonna throw the coaches in there too. I don't see any of that happening. So it looks like Lamar Jackson is a very well respected individual, which again goes more along to his character and how he's been since he got into the league. Okay. Um, the Baltimore Ravens putting all their trust into him, giving him that 5-year deal, basically says, listen, we believe in you. Okay. We're going to give the keys to this franchise. We're going to turn it over to you. We want you to lead us to the promised land. Okay. I feel that eventually, okay, I don't want to put a time on it because I could be wrong. And I know how people are when it comes to me Whenever I'm wrong about something, people just continue to just harp and on and just all over it, right? But I do feel like the Baltimore Ravens will, in fact, either make it to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl within that 5-year deal that of his brand new contract. It will happen. I don't know when, but I'm like 70% sure that as long as Lamar Jackson stays healthy and the Ravens continue to improve and they get better, the Baltimore Ravens will win a Super Bowl within the next 5 years of Lamar Jackson's new deal. This season, they went out, the Baltimore Ravens, and went out. And not only did they invest in Lamar Jackson by giving him a 5-year contract, they also said, you know what? Let's get him some help. Okay, let's get him some help. Let's finally get our star quarterback, some help because for years it was just Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews and a number two receiver here and there you sprinkling in, or that was pretty much it. Okay, and for the better part of of how it worked out so far, it's been pretty good. I mean, we're talking about all pro players. Lamar Jackson is an all pro. Mark Andrews is an all pro. It works, but it's very clear that once you're able to take away Lamar Jackson's running ability, and then you're taking away the only weapon that he really has out there in Mark Andrews, or if Mark Andrews is not on the field to help produce, then you got a problem. Okay, Lamar has a problem. He can't do it alone. I don't think any player can really do it alone. Excuse me. But they got Lamar Jackson some help. We got guys like Duvernay, Rashard Bateman. When they're healthy again, these are good players. Okay. Then they went out and signed Odell Beckham on a 1-year contract, pretty much a prove it deal. Hey, come in, show us you still got it. If you do very well, hey, you'll be back for another season or a couple more seasons. Which, by the way, I want to throw in, based on what I saw this morning watching the NFL training camp with the Baltimore Ravens, Odell Beckham looks good. It doesn't look like he has a knee injury or knee issues at all. He looks like typical Odell Beckham. As a matter of fact, I seen a play earlier where Lamar Jackson rolls out to the right side of the pocket, sees a wide open Odell Beckham running down the field, dot on the money, touchdown. And I said to myself, and I'm sitting there smiling, I'm like, it's about to be a long season for a lot of people. If those two can build a chemistry and keep getting better, it's about to be a long season for a lot of people. Not only did they do that, but they also drafted a really good receiver, Zay Flowers, who is lightning fast. Okay. And this kid is a dog. All right. If you remember Zay Flowers back in college, you knew damn well he was a human highlight every single week on the way Boston College. Again, if you don't follow college athletics, then you wouldn't know these things. But Zay Flowers is a dog. Okay. I see a little bit of and I'm just saying this based just because off his size, right? I'm just saying off his size. I see a little bit of a little bit of young Antonio Brown in him when Antonio Brown came into the league from Central Michigan. You know, just a young kid trying to keep his head down and make plays. That's what Antonio Brown was when he got into the league. I think Zay Flowers can have that type of career too, as long as he stays healthy and he's able to produce. And then the Ravens, signed another 1-year contract for Melvin Gordon to help solidify that running backfield, which again we all know the identity of the Baltimore Ravens for many many years. Whereas the running game, I think they're trying to get back to that, where the running game can help open up things. And again, the Ravens need their running game to work because if that running game works and it's consistent, when you throw in the rushing ability of Lamar Jackson as well as the running backs, they still have one of the best offensive line in the NFL. This team can be very scary. Okay. The running game, when it's clicking, is going to open up so much more. And now that the Baltimore Ravens, along with Lamar Jackson, have weapons, okay, I'm gonna just put out a warning here because a lot of people, both near to me and far from me, were talking a lot of crap about Lamar Jackson for years. Why would anybody want to go play for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson? He doesn't throw the ball well. Nobody wants to play with him. No real receivers will go there. Da 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 da. Man, y'all are about to be very, very wrong. Because I remember Lamar Jackson at the University of Louisville with those weapons he had, which aren't even comparable to what he has now in the NFL. And I just seen the destruction that he caused at the University of Louisville when he was the quarterback there. And I'm getting a very, very eerie, similar feeling that we are about to see a repeat of that version of Lamar Jackson. We're talking about Louisville University Lamar Jackson. As long as the Baltimore Ravens can stay healthy, they can play defense, they can rush the passer because that was a difficulty or area of opportunity for them is getting some sacks. They struggled in that area. As long as they're able to do that, there's a good likelihood, especially with Joe Burrow being out for a few weeks, they can jump out in the early lead in that AFC North division, which is going to be extremely competitive this season. When you factor in the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cincinnati Bengals, that is probably the hardest division in football. So this is the make it break it for Lamar Jackson. If Lamar can go out there and make this thing happen in that division, win another MVP, get his team to the playoffs, and even further, maybe AFC Championship game or possibly a Super Bowl, how could you hate on Lamar Jackson? I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Because I'm sure the people are going to be out there that's still going to be hating. But how could you if he does all of those things? So we're going to go ahead and move over to the next segment. We're going to talk about another team that I'm really impressed with that I think is going to make a lot of noise this year. Another possible Super Bowl contender. That's the New York Jets. I said on Facebook a few weeks ago, I want to say maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, that I think the New York Jets are the best team in the AFC East. I predicted the New York Jets to win the AFC East. Of course, I live in Miami. I'm from Miami. Okay. I'm around a whole lot of Miami Dolphin fans, both new and old. Everybody seems to be a Dolphin fan nowadays, especially with the current team they have. And I had a lot of backlash from my fellow Dolphins fans were very upset with me. Well, Banks, man, how could you say that, man? Here you go again, trolling. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. You just be saying things, yada, yada, yada. What people don't understand is, again, I may say things, but most times I am pretty accurate about things. And I think that's kind of what upsets people is the fact that they know that I know. And most times I am right. Like, for instance, I didn't say it on the pod last year because I didn't do hardly any recording. But I said that the Miami Dolphins, even with all the acquisitions that they acquired last year before the season, all the talent, all the brand new coaches, and all those things, I said that the Dolphins would still lose the division and that the division was going to be won by the Buffalo Bills. I said that. People are going to deny it. They're going to run from it, but it's the truth. I said that. What ended up happening? The Miami Dolphins started off really hot, had a few games, especially that Baltimore Ravens game. I don't know how they came back and won that game. Baltimore just completely took their foot off the gas in the second half, primarily the fourth quarter. But they won a game. Props to the Dolphins. They came back and won the game. You can't hate on them. And then Tua goes down with those concussions. Before that, he was looking like an NFL MVP. There, he was in the argument. I don't think he would have won it, but he was in an argument. You got to give him that. He definitely did make some strides as a quarterback last season, but he went down with injury. The Miami Dolphins defense was riddled with injuries throughout the season. I mean, riddled with injuries. It affected every phase of their game. They couldn't play the kind of coverages that they wanted to play. They couldn't rush the passer the way they wanted to. It was a very difficult time for the Miami Dolphins defensively last year. But they still end up going 9-8, making the playoffs, only to lose to the Buffalo Bills in the first round, in which I thought was the best game of football defensively the Miami Dolphins played all season that year. Well, last year. They added a few guys. Again, sorry, I'm just talking about the Dolphins here, but I'm trying to understand where Dolphin fans are coming from and why they're so upset with me. You guys added a few more pieces to your team this year, most notably Jalen Ramsey, who, for whatever reason, Jalen Ramsey was trash when he was a Los Angeles Ram. But when he became a Miami Dolphin, all the Dolphin fans are like, "Oh, Jalen Ramsey, he's really good. He's the best corner in the NFL." But anyway, we're not going to go there. He added Jalen Ramsey, comes onto the team, and then unfortunately, a week ago he gets hurt. He goes down with a knee injury. He's going to be out until December, they say. So we talk about the Jets. The Jets had a very good offseason. And when I say very good, I mean the fact that they went ahead and got Aaron Rodgers. They're taking a gamble on if I'm not mistaken, I believe Aaron Rodgers is 38 years old, maybe 40. Could be wrong, but I'll fact check it later. I apologize if I'm wrong. But he's a really old quarterback in the league. And everyone was saying, oh, man, they're not serious, are they? No, the Jets are very serious. And I'm telling y'all right now, okay, and this is on record, okay, the New York Jets are probably, and there's a good chance of this, are going to be, if everything goes right, and Aaron Rodgers can at least keep things reasonable throughout the season, players stay healthy. If you look at what the Jets did last year without a quarterback of Aaron Rodgers' caliber at all, it'll likely end up ending in the Super Bowl for the Jets. The Jets are that good of a football team. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Breece Hall coming back. You got Sauce Gardner. This is a lot. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for it, but it's the truth. I base things and I go by evidence. And I have enough evidence to support what I'm saying. There's more evidence supporting the fact that the New York Jets are currently the best team in the AFC East than the Miami Dolphins, whether you want to believe it or accept it or not. Most importantly, the main and primary position that you need your team to be great at, they are great there. They have Aaron freaking Rodgers. Now you can say last year he wasn't his best year. Cool. It is what it is. There's a lot that went into the Green Bay Packers last season. The Green Bay Packers have been trying to move on for Aaron Rodgers for years. It was a lot of back and forth between them and the organization. They finally got through it. But if I had to pick Aaron Rodgers versus Tua, oh man, night and day. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers 10 out of 10. There's no scenario wise or no universe or no multiverse do I see me ever picking Tua over Aaron Rodgers. I just don't. I don't see it. And the quarterback position, we do know that's probably the most important position on the football field. And they have the guy, especially now that Tom Brady is no longer playing in the NFL. They have the guy now. That's Aaron Rodgers. The other guy plays in Kansas City. The other guy plays in Buffalo. The other guy plays in Cincinnati. It's no knock to the Miami Dolphins. Tua looked great last year, but overall, his health is going to always come in question. If the Dolphins can keep him healthy or if Tua can keep himself healthy, then we may have a different argument. And then you think about all the positions outside of Aaron Rodgers that are getting better. The receiving position has gotten better. The offensive line is going to be even better with Mekhi Becton coming back from injury. You got Brees Hall, the running back, coming back from injury. Oh, and then I forget to mention that I forget to mention there's also a possibility that free agent Dalvin Cook could very well possibly be on his way to the New York Jets as well. So there's a lot of things working for the New York Jets right now. And these are the reasons why I picked the New York Jets to win the division. Again, whether you guys like it or not. I deal on facts and evidence. I don't go off hypotheticals. Hypotheticals don't arouse me. It does nothing for me. I'm not trying to what if a situation. Well, I mean, I know gave a few what ifs this situation in this video, but I do know that the what ifs come with things like the Super Bowl, for instance. We don't know who the Super Bowl winner is going to be. We don't know that, but I can tell you that the New York Jets are going to be a lot better than what they were last year. That's a for sure damn bet. They're not going to regress. They're going to progress, and they're going to get better and better. Okay. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and get going. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to cut the stream short. I had something that just came up. I apologize, but I will be back for part 2 later on this evening. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you.